In this video, we will have a look at stakeholder engagement and relationships, the HuaWAY, rather how Huawei does this. As a reminder, a stakeholder is any person or entity with a vested interest in the business. Business stakeholders would generally include the shareholders of the company, management, employees, suppliers, distributors, partners, collaborators, regulators, and so forth. On top, you can also see various examples that companies can contact their shareholders or shareholder contact types. So list there, among others, the citizens, legislature, trade partners, foreign investors, industry bodies, civic leaders, tourists, trade unions, the World Health Organization, International Monetary Fund, foreign investors, and so forth. So all of these stakeholders that has a stake in a specific business. And for HuaWAY, we will have a look at a few. So in there, HuaWAY Investment and Holdings Company Limited 2021 Sustainability Report. This report tells us exactly how they engage and build relationships with their internal and external stakeholders. So let's have a look at this report. This is the report retrieved from their website. It's also linked in the description below. So the HuaWAY Investment and Holdings Company Limited 2021 Sustainability Report, and they have a few other reports of interest again to their stakeholders. We want to go ahead and skip to page 19 because this is where they deal with stakeholder engagement. A lot of information you can retrieve from this document. First of all, they list the stakeholders in the left column, and then also how they communicate and the frequency of the channels they use to communicate with a specific stakeholder, then a concern for each of these stakeholders, and then how HuaWAY, in line with their strategy, how they aim to deal with all of the major concerns. So one of the external stakeholders, their customers and consumers, with one of the internals, the employees. So they really treat their employees as well as they can, and they always have detailed strategies on how to, for example, deal with health and safety risks. So if you compare this with the 2020 report, the 2020 report had a lot of information about the COVID pandemic, but since that has been at the back burner lately, they have new focuses they need to attend to and new concerns that develop. So they always keep an eye out on concerns per stakeholder and then how they communicate with it. For example, employee surveys. And then they have specific strategies like for the employees, they always try to promote workforce diversity, create an inclusive and equitable workplace, and nurture a warm and harmonious organizational climate. So we can have a look at all of these, but I'm sure if you just download the report, you are more than able to see how they deal with each of their stakeholders. So we also have external ones, suppliers and partners. And then also when we continue to page 100, or not 100, rather page 20, governments, how do they deal with that? How do they contact them? What's the strategy for this? So Tech for a Better Planet, that is at the core of their positioning. And then NGOs, industry organizations and specialist agencies. So focusing, for example, a circular economy, human rights, combating climate change and carbon neutral. And then how will they actually plan to do this? And then with media, another external one, and communities is extremely important with your corporate social responsibility. So they want to enforce green consumption, information accessibility, and gender equality, which is important to them. And how do they plan to reach these 3 points? So if you can have a quick look or a close look, they have 3 specific concerns and they have 1 strategy for each of those major concerns. So hopefully you have with this brief video an idea of how HuaWAY manages and engages with their stakeholders, continue to build relationships, because you build relationships with continuously having strategies to address your concerns and frequently communicating with your stakeholders. So hopefully you understand a little bit more about stakeholders and also how HuaWAY manages and builds relationships with theirs. Thanks for watching.